Good morning, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome to my kitchen. Hope you guys are all having a great Friday morning. Welcome in. I can see you guys joining in. Hello. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning out today. We have all the doors open. It's nice to feel that fresh air that isn't super hot and muggy. All right, so this morning, you can see we're in my kitchen. I'm going to talk for the next few minutes just a little bit about some eggs and the risk of heart disease, because I know that that is a big controversy. It's one of the questions I get asked all the time by clients is, can I have eggs? And as many of you know, I do love eggs. There's my husband and my daughter. She'll come in probably a little bit later and say hello. I'm sure she'll be curious. But hi, everybody. See you guys coming in. Welcome, welcome. I've never done Facebook Live before. Tally had to help me on this. Hey, Bethany. How you doing? Great. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sam McCarthy. I'm a registered dietitian at Cedardale. And this morning, I will be discussing a little bit about eggs and heart disease as I make some eggs. And hopefully you guys are having a nice, delicious breakfast yourselves as well this morning. So a little bit about eggs. Over the past several decades, eggs have really been something that many people have avoided, especially those who have heart disease or high cholesterol. And it's a question I get asked all the time by clients: can I eat eggs? Well, the new research that is out there over the last couple of years has really shown that there is really no link between eating eggs and increasing your risk of heart disease or raising your cholesterol. So really what they have found in recent research is that really it's the saturated fat and the trans fat that are a big issue. So saturated and trans fats are present in a lot of our foods, and those are the types of fats that can actually raise cholesterol in our body. Our body makes all the cholesterol it needs, but when you consume high amounts of these saturated and trans fats, it triggers the liver to actually make more cholesterol in the body, and then that's where the problem can lie. But eggs only have 1.5 grams of saturated fat per serving. So we can go ahead and eat those eggs. So you guys want to see what a typical breakfast is like for me? So what we'll do, I have my favorite eggs, which we're fortunate. My next door neighbor, she has chickens, so we get her eggs all the time. She doesn't eat them. But if I'm going to the store, I'm going to buy eggs, then I'm going to try and find organic eggs. So that's what I recommend for you guys. Good morning, Tally. Hello, hello. And then I use cooking spray that I get at Target. It's called Simply Balanced. It's organic canola oil. This is my favorite oil to use while cooking. So that's what I use to put on my pan for my eggs. So I'll go ahead and just spray that in there. Then of course I've got my eggs. I've got a little bit of milk in there, so we're going to whisk those together. Now I love eggs because they're so versatile. You can do so many different things with them. You can have eggs just by themselves. Over easy is my favorite, but you can also do hard-boiled eggs as a great snack. Put them on your salads. You can do scrambled eggs, which is what we're doing this morning. Hi, Christine. I see you on there. Hello, hello. So, all right, mixing them all up. So another thing I like to do for eggs, I'm not going to do it this morning, but I brought it out so I could show you guys. So like I said, saturated fat and trans fats can be pretty bad for us to consume in high amounts. So having eggs with things like bacon or cheese or, buttery croissants and muffins, that can be a problem. So how do we make eggs more flavorful without having a lot of those things? I love this. This we started using in my house about probably 6-8 months ago or so. It's Everything Bagel Seasoning. I put it on my eggs. It is delicious. So if you've never tried it, definitely recommend it to add a little flavor without having to throw bacon or cheese or something like that onto your eggs that won't be as healthy or as nutritious. You love eggs, Tally? That's good. I do too. I eat them every single morning. So one of my favorite things to do other than having over easy eggs is throwing lots of veggies into my scrambled eggs. I almost always, I say I use leftover vegetables. They're a great way to reuse some vegetables. They're already prepped and chopped, so you don't have to do much to them. So I throw those right into the pan. There we go. Okay, just get those a little bit warm. And then I'm going to go ahead and toss my eggs in there. And we'll just let that cook up for the next couple of minutes or so. So if you guys have any questions about eggs, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'm happy to answer them as I let my eggs cook here. So like I said, the saturated and the trans fats are an issue with the eggs. So what do you have with your eggs to make them more nutritious? Well, vegetables is one option. Throwing in some beans, some legumes, fresh fruit on the side, or even some whole grains. So a nice whole grain bread or whole grain English muffin, or even thinking outside the box, throwing in some quinoa, some other good whole grains out there. That's a great way to make a really nutritious and also filling breakfast without having to have the bacon and the cheese and all of that not so healthy stuff for us. Very good. So cook up those eggs. The key to having a good scrambled egg is don't put the heat too high, because then you're going to burn your eggs. So I usually keep it about medium. I have a gas grill though, so it's a little bit different. Every stovetop or grill is going to be a little bit different. So just make sure the heat's not too high, and then you'll have fluffier eggs instead of burnt eggs and overcooked. Oh, BB, you like it with tomatoes, green. Oh my gosh, yes. That is my favorite, tomatoes, green onions, and spinach. I love that. That's a really great combination. I think my favorite is definitely broccoli in eggs. I love putting broccoli and probably onions. Just easy. Onions add so much flavor, which is great. So, all right. And that's it. A couple minutes on the stovetop, and they're pretty much done. Great. There we go. So these leftover vegetables I have some mushrooms, onions, peppers, broccoli, of course, in there, and then my eggs. And that's my breakfast. That's it. It's as quick as that. So, I always get comments from clients, they don't have time to make eggs in the morning. I mean, really, it takes, what does that take, 5 minutes? I mean, what time is it? Yeah, barely 5 minutes to do that. So you can definitely make time to have that good filling breakfast that isn't, a quick muffin or bagel or, all those unhealthy things. Can you do reduced fat cheese? Tally asked. I do not recommend reduced fat cheese. I don't recommend most reduced fat things unless it's something like yogurt or milk. Reduced fat cheese usually has some type of additive thrown in there that could be questionable. So if you're going to use cheese, go for the regular cheese. It tastes better. It's going to have a better consistency, especially if you're cooking with it. And then just don't use a lot of it. You can have a little bit of saturated fat, but you don't want to have too much of it, okay? Hey, Jessica, great to see you. Let's see, crumbled feta, tomato, chives, and broccoli. Ooh, Karen, that sounds really, really good. Love it, love it. So if you guys have any more questions, let me know. Otherwise, that is my breakfast, so go ahead and eat those eggs. Don't worry about raising your risk of heart disease and cholesterol. As long as you limit the saturated fat, and trans fats are out of our food supply. They are outlawed now, which is great, so we don't have to worry about those, but we do have to worry about the saturated fats. So just keep an eye on those and limit that bacon, cheese, and buttery food items. Okay? I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful weather ahead of us. Thank you. Thanks for joining me this morning. Bye, guys.